If you love me, please don't judge me. Got my hands tied, the power's above me. Don't shoot the messenger, I'm just a puppet here. If you wanna place blame, then look to the puppeteer. Family, fortune, envy, jealousy, privilege, passed on, legacy, secret, sabotage, borderline, felony, suicide, subtract, selfish, pedigree, yeah.
Alright, so we had some racing that happened this weekend. And one race that I want to try not to talk about. So, truck race. Truck race is actually pretty interesting. Had some good racing all weekend in the race. Some interesting battles for the lead. In the end, John Hunter Nemechek was able to hold off a late charge from Chase Elliott. And John Hunter Nemechek gets his 4th win of the season. Hot damn. John Hunter Nemechek, yeah, he's easily a favorite for the championship this year. There's no doubt about that. And honestly, with Chase Elliott not winning this truck race, it was a good thing that Chase didn't win the truck race and didn't get a meaningless win for his stats. Because, you all think I'm happy about Chase Elliott being in the truck race, right? Wrong. Just like I said last year when Chase was in the truck race for the Kyle Busch bounty. Chase Elliott had no business being in that truck race to begin with. Like, when Chase announced he was in the truck race, I just rolled my eyes. I was like, just why? Especially when Kyle Busch wasn't even in that truck race. It's like, really? Why? Like, the only reason I could think of Chase being in that race was for fucking experience at TexAss. Since Chase Elliott fucking sucks at Texas. Like, Texas is his worst track not by a lot. Like, Texas is up there with Las Vegas for 2 of his worst tracks on the schedule. But yeah, that's the truck race. Anyway, moving on. Let's talk about the first IndyCar race that happened in Detroit. It was actually a pretty interesting race. Like, throughout this race, it was mainly dominated by Will Power. We did have a scary incident during the race, though. I do want to send my thoughts and prayers to Felix Rosenqvist because that was a nasty crash he had midway through the race. Because that was a hard hit he took when his throttle got stuck and he went head on into the wall at full speed. Like, honestly, I think he's lucky to be alive at this point. And I think the fact that he walked away from that crash with no major injuries, it's just a major testament to how far the safety has come in IndyCar within the last decade or two. Hell, or in auto racing in general. But once again, like every other dangerous crash that happens in auto racing, let me just reiterate what I said before. Every once in a while, we'll get reminded once again that auto racing is truly the most dangerous sport in the world, period. But yeah. So anyway, after that, we ended up with a red flag for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, somewhere around there, because they had to repair the tire barrier and the wall because the wall got bent in, so they had to get a new one. So yeah, that was a bit interesting waiting around for that. Race would get going. Around 6 to go, we will get the turning point of the race. When Romain Grosjean would crash and hit the wall. So yeah, well, Grosjean's good run in IndyCar. It was fun while it lasted. Now he's back to being a crash magnet again. I guess now we can go back to calling him Crashon. Well, I guess we could take Grosjean out of Haas, but we can't take the Haas out of Grosjean. Well, I guess the more things change, the more they stay the same. And after that crash, you're thinking, oh, this race is going to end under caution and Will Power is going to get the win, right? Wrong. Because, oh boy, IndyCar chose this race to do their best NASCAR impersonation. Because, it seems like IndyCar is going to try and one-up NASCAR and copy them with their drama-mongering ways and skin them alive for it. Because, you think this race is going to end under caution with no bullshit and no drama, right? Wrong. Red flag. Beep. So we get a red flag. And as Will Power's coming on pit lane, he immediately is yelling at his team to put fans on the back of his car and on his car in general. so that his ECU doesn't fry in the damn heat, since we're kind of in the middle of a heat wave up in upper Michigan, or we were at the tail end of a heat wave. But IndyCar said, no, you cannot put the fans on the car until all the cars have come down pit lane, even though Will Power's demanding for it immediately. I think IndyCar thought it was for Will Power, just for his body until... But yeah, because IndyCar's like, no, you can't by rule. You can't until the cars are down pit lane. And even when they explain that if they don't put the fans on now, his car will not start back up. And IndyCar's like, no, Will, you can't do it. Rules are rules. Our hands are tied at this point. So yeah, and then after the red flag ends, as they're trying to fire Will Power's car back up, it won't start up as predicted. The ECU is completely fried. And yeah, the field ends up going behind Will Power. Will would get the car fired back up, but his shot at the win goes completely out the window. And he ends up a lap down. So through this madness, Marcus Ericsson would get the lead. And it would lead to a 3-lap shootout. And Marcus Ericsson goes on to get his first career win. So Marcus Ericsson has finally won something in open wheel. So hooray, Marcus Ericsson is finally a winner in IndyCar. Too bad it came at Will Power's expense, because in a way, IndyCar did kind of fuck Will Power over. They did fuck Power over pretty much. Because that was a shitty way to rob Power of a win that he had in the bag. All because that you had to obey your rules and enforce it. Even when they're saying specifically, if the fans on the car now, they're just gonna fry, and they're like, no, you can't. Rules are rules. Our hands are tied. So yeah, race 1. It was an okay race, but that was a pretty bad way to end the race. And that red flag felt kind of unnecessary. It kind of felt like IndyCar's best NASCAR impersonation. Since a lot of fans have bitched about races ending under caution and wanting green flag finishes. And sadly, IndyCar is refusing to do green-white checkers, like NASCAR does. And F1's kind of done that as of late too, last week with Azerbaijan when Verstappen crashed, and then they brought the red flag out to make it a 2-lap green flag shootout, instead of having the race end under a safety car. And which it wouldn't have mattered anyway, because Perez would have won the race regardless anyway last week. But yeah, still, IndyCar officiating needs to fucking get their shit together. Anyway, Xfinity race. Well, Xfinity race at Texas. Well, it's any other race Kyle Busch is in. Except he really didn't dominate. He actually had competition from the likes of Cindric and Allgaier. But Allgaier once again choked like a bitch to Kyle Busch. And Kyle Busch gets his 99th meaningless Xfinity win. Chase Elliott. If you're trying to keep Kyle Busch out of winning in lower series, you chose the wrong series to go in. If you were going to race this weekend in a lower series race, you should have won Xfinity to stop Kyle Busch from winning. Damn it, Chase. You had one job, and you had one job this weekend. Keep Kyle Busch from winning in lower series. And you couldn't even do that right. So yeah, now Kyle Busch is one more win away from 100 meaningless Xfinity wins. And oh yeah, I believe Kyle Busch is in both the truck and Xfinity races at Nashville. Honestly, just give Kyle Busch the 100th win next week at Nashville. Don't delay the inevitable. Just give him the win. Just get the meaningless milestone over and done with. So we can see if he truly is a man of his word and that he is done with the series after 100 meaningless wins. Which I'm calling bullshit on that. Kyle Busch won't be done after 100 wins. I'll believe Kyle Busch is done after 100 meaningless Xfinity wins when I see it with my own eyes. But anyway, we had some other races that happened this weekend. We had the SRX race at Stafford Speedway. It was actually a pretty interesting race. The 2 heats. Heat 1, not a whole lot happened in it. Heat 2, a few things happened in it. Greg Biffle ended up going to a backup car after he got wrecked at the end of Heat 2. One thing I'd say for Heat is I think they should have passing points in both heats, and how many passing points you have determines the starting lineup for the main event race. You know, and the commentary was actually very spot on. Honestly, this year I prefer this commentary and the Indy 500 commentary over NASCAR on Fox's commentary this year, because NASCAR on Fox's commentary was utter shit this year. Like, SRX, you know, they had Alan Bestwick in the booth with Danica Patrick. Interesting that they put Danica in the booth. And Danica actually didn't do bad. She actually did surprisingly well. Well, mainly you have Alan Bestwick there to help you, so that kind of helps. And yeah, the 100 lap main event, it was honestly really good. It was actually a good race. Some good racing. Other than that competition caution, which I don't understand what the fuck that was all about. But hey, it's what it is. But yeah, Doug Colby, the local short track hero, ends up winning the inaugural race for SRX race at Stafford. So hey, congrats to him. It actually looks very interesting. Yes, I'll be doing reviews for the SRX races too. We'll be covering those races too. I'll cover all 6 of them. See, I believe the next one is next week. And I believe it's at Knoxville. So yeah, we got Knoxville next week for SRX. We also got Xfinity and Trucks at Nashville. I believe IndyCar's off this week until Road America. And then we have F1 back at in France. Oh fuck, France. That track sucks balls. That race is gonna suck. But anyway, next race we have the second IndyCar race in Detroit. That race is actually a really good race. A lot of different comers and goers for the lead. Like Newgarden dominated the early part, but he fell apart late. Like it was between mainly Colin Herta, Newgarden, and Patricia Ward. He had Grosjean's car catch on fire with like 11 to go, and then Grosjean climb out of the car, then walk over to the safety workers, rip the fire extinguisher out of their hands, and walk over and put the fire out himself. So I guess Grosjean's like he is, fuck you, safety workers. I'm doing your jobs today. You get today off. But yeah, Grosjean's car catching on fire. I swear we've seen this before. I swore we saw this in Formula 1 before. But yeah, but this time there would be no red flags and no gimmicks in this race. We would get like a few laps of green flag racing. Mainly Newgarden. Actually, Newgarden dominated this entire race. He led like every single lap except for the last 3. Patricia Ward would get by Newgarden leading the race. And Patricia Ward gets his 2nd win of the season. So hey, congrats to Ward for his 2nd win of the year. But yeah, heartbreaking for Newgarden having that race in the bag and then losing it late. One positive, Newgarden. Unlike Power, you didn't lose it off some gimmicky bullshit this time. So yeah, and with also Ward's win, Patricia Ward now becomes the points leader for IndyCar, taking a 1-point lead over Alex Palou heading into Road America. So that is going to be interesting. So yeah, some really good racing this weekend. Some good racing here, and of course next week for the Cup Series we have the race at Nashville. We have the race at Nashville next weekend. NASCAR returns to Nashville Superspeedway for the first time in 10 years. Can't wait for that. Nope. I missed nothing from Kyle Larson's Meaningless All-Star Gimmick All-Star win at TexAss. I missed nothing from that race. Honestly, I don't even care about that race. Because that race is nothing but a gimmick. And you put it at the worst track on the schedule. Like, literally. Out of all the tracks you could have chose to put the All-Star race at, you literally chose TexAss. Like, when that track puts on shittier races than Kentucky and Pocono, then there is a massive fucking problem. And honestly, and just remember, North Wilkesboro died for this shitty track. Just gonna leave that there. And the race is nothing but a gimmick. Like the fact that there's gonna be probably a rotating track every year, so it's gonna be probably a different track next year and whatnot. And you had it be 6 stages with, inverting the field almost every stage except the last 2. Like, it was just a gimmick. This race is nothing but a gimmick, like the Clash. Like, the Clash and the All-Star Race are both gimmick races now. They both mean nothing. Like, this win for Larson, it literally does nothing for him in the championship standings whatsoever. Like, he literally gains and loses nothing with this win. Like, seriously, what is on the line in this race other than money and pride? Oh, wait. No answer? Yeah, exactly, nothing. Honestly, I don't take this race serious. Want me to take the All-Star Race serious again? Wake me up when they put points on the line for the top 10 finishers. I've been saying it for years. NASCAR's been wondering, how do we make this race mean more? A lot of us have been yelling the solution at you for years. Put points on the line for top 10 finishers in the All-Star Race. Tell you what, put points on the line for top 10 finishers in the Clash in the All-Star Race, and maybe, just maybe, I'll start taking those gimmick races more serious than I actually do right now. Because right now, my level of taking the All-Star Race serious is at 0. Same deal with the Clash, 0. Hell, I wouldn't even give a damn if Kyle Busch won this race tonight. But yeah, even though I've announced this solution here, will NASCAR ever put points on the line for the Clash in the All-Star Race? Hell no. Because that requires too many brain cells and common sense. And NASCAR has to make this shit sound as fucking retarded as possible than it already needs to be. Simple as that. At least we get meaningful races the rest of the year, and we don't have to deal with this meaningless gimmick bullshit until February with the Clash. But yeah, anyway, I'm out. So yeah, see you all for Nashville. Peace. Actually, hold up, we're not done yet, because it just came to my attention that there are only 4 races left until the Truck Series chase starts next month after Watkins Glen, because the cutoff race for the Truck Chase is Watkins Glen. And yeah, there's only 4 spots locked up in the Truck Series chase, so with 4 races left, there are 6 spots in the Truck Series chase still up for grabs. So at this point, if you win a race in the Truck Series now, if you're running full-time in the series, you're automatically guaranteed a spot in the Truck Series chase. So of course, here are the points here. So I got down to 16th, so you have Austin Hill, Zane Smith, and Grant Enfinger. They're very good ahead on points. I think they're pretty safe with 4 races to go. Unless they have a bad race or 2 or someone wins below the cutoff line, I think they're safe right now. I think they're going to probably make it in. Crafton, he's a race ahead on points, so if Crafton can just keep running pretty solidly and stay out of trouble in the next 4 weeks, he should be good on points too. You got Stuart Friesen, 48 above the cutoff line. He just needs to stay out of trouble or win a race. And Carson Hosfar, 36 points above the cutoff line. Trying to make the chase, has Holtz the 10th and final spot for the Truck Series chase. He just needs to stay out of trouble and prevent Chandler Smith from gaining any ground on him. Or he needs to win a race. Pretty much just needs to stay out of trouble and he'll be in the chase. But then you look at the points line, you got Chandler Smith 36 behind. So he might be in a must-win scenario with 4 races to go, or he's going to need to have some solid runs and hope Hosfar or Friesen struggle the next 4 races. You also got Johnny Sauter, 44 points out. I think Sauter's in a must-win scenario. I think the only way Sauter makes it in is a win. Austin Wade, 45 points out. I think he's either going to need to win a race or he's going to need some guys above the cutoff line to struggle. Ankrum's 57 points out. I think Ankrum's in a must-win scenario in that situation. And then you got Derek Kraus and Ryan Truex, 78 and 92 points out. They're over a full race out on points. I think both of them are in must-win scenarios. But yeah, we're getting close to the Truck Series chase. Only 4 races left of the Truck Series chase. And if anyone's wondering for the chase prediction vids this year, I will be doing 3 videos for it. I'll be doing 1 for trucks, and then 1 for Cup, and then 1 for Xfinity. So all 3 series will get their own video this year. But yeah, anyway, that's just the update on the Truck Series chase grid bubble this week. But yeah, that's all I gotta say. See you all next week for Nashville. Peace.